Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show. Long time coming. I hope you've been great out there and get ready for the footy in 2023. Well, the off season is here and we're going to look at the Warriors 2023 squad. Can they climb to the top of the mountain or will they sink to the bottom to the wooden spoon? They were pretty close last year. Or can they get into the top 8? That's what we're here to debate here in 2023. Let's rock and roll. Well, first off, who the Warriors lost in 2022? Well, obviously Ewan Aiken is a big loss, as well as Elise Katoa, definitely a big loss there. But I think it's Melbourne's gain. I think Elise Katoa, if he stayed, he could have been that Ali Lauatiti type player, which I'm going to talk about a bit later, but he just did not seem to play that role for the Warriors for whatever reason. But I'm sure in Melbourne he's going to absolutely kill it. But obviously the biggest loss of all for the Warriors is Reece Walsh. Now, people argue his defence wasn't the greatest, but I tell you what, the razzle-dazzle of Reece Walsh is exactly what the Warriors needed. And unfortunately, he is gone. He's been let go. And to be fair, his replacement, he's a solid player, but he hasn't got the attacking flair that Reece Walsh has. Obviously, losing Cody Nikorima, there was a big loss as well, but they have signed Dylan Walker, so that helps that gain. Obviously, the signing of Mitchell Barnett, he's a good gain for the Warriors, but I don't know where he fits into the squad. It's going to be an interesting one, but he is into what I claim is the Warriors' best opportunity to play like they used to. Well, I'll get to that later. Ashley Taylor, I think he was a big loss because I honestly think he might have been the number 7. But unfortunately, his career's over. But have the Warriors signed to Mighty Martin to play that role? Well, we're going to find out next year. And obviously the signing of Nia Corey and Luke Metcalf are also good signings for the Warriors. And obviously losing Matt Rogers is obviously a big loss for the Warriors. So how can the Warriors win in 2023? Well, I'm telling you now, they're not going to. Unfortunately, but for the Warriors, I can see them playing the type of footy they used to play 10 years ago, or maybe even 20 years ago. The offloads, we need them. But what are the Warriors missing that is stopping them from going to the top of the mountain? First off, they don't have an Ali Lauatiti. Okay, they got a few players like Barney, Tohu Harris, and a few others. Fonda-Blake, they can offload, but they can't offload like Lauatiti. And that is what the Warriors are missing. And I think at least Katoa was that player that could have done that, but he wasn't really used in that way. So I think that's one player they're obviously missing. And number 13 is a big one for the Warriors as well. They have not really had a solid 13 since Michael Luck is gone. And that has really cost them from being any chance of being looking at finals footy. So he's, and obviously a type him or Kevin Campion, they're just no nonsense players, and the Warriors just don't really have that scare factor in the squad, and that is a big problem for the Warriors. And also for the Warriors, leadership. They may have some older players, but they don't have that true Stephen Price leader. Absolutely, they do not have him in the squad. They got a lot of good players, or players that could be potential, but just no one that can just absolutely nail it. Tohu Harris is obviously the best one we've got, but he is no Stephen Price, no doubt about that. And obviously, on the field, who would lead them on the field, give them every opportunity to deliver? A player like Ruben Wiki. The Warriors, again, that's another player they have not really found someone like that. We've got a lot of solid players like Bunty Afoa and Fonda-Blake at the moment. They can do that role, but just those ones that bring other people into the game, build them up, say, come on boys, let's get this game. The talk out there from the Warriors is just not big enough for mine. And I think that's something the Warriors need to improve if they want to go all the way in 2023. So let's have a look at the Warriors team that I would select, and we'll see if you beg to differ. Obviously, there's going to be a few differences between me and you, but this is the squad that I'll be looking at if I was going to pick my 17 to win a comp. To win a comp, if you want to lose a comp, well, you'll find out who number 7 is, because I think the number 7 they're going to pick is not going to win the comp. But number 1, well, I think it's a fait accompli that Charles Nicoll-Klokstad will be number 1. And he's a solid player, don't get me wrong. He's probably not a player that's going to win you a premiership. He's a solid player, so you're going to need people around him. He's similar to Dylan Edwards in a way. So it's not saying he can't win a premiership with him. He's probably not quite his level, but you know what I mean? If he can get through a bit more work, that is the problem with Nicoll-Klokstad. He doesn't seem to be fit enough to do the level of work that Dylan Walker does. He can do it for 60, but can he do it for 80 minutes? That's what Nicoll-Klokstad's got to work on to get that fitness up. The wing, well, this was Watesniak. Obviously, he just picks himself. But the other side, there's so many choices here. I've gone for Rocco Berry. Now, I know he's had a couple of tries on the wing and his defence was absolutely no good. But I think if you put him with Niokore defensively, I think Rocco Berry will shine in 2023. I just don't think he's ready to play centre. I think he needs to play wing, which that leaves out Montoya out of the squad. But to me, Montoya is not going to be a superstar player, where Rocco Berry potentially could be a superstar player if they can get the best out of him, but he's got to turn up in defence. The other centre spot to me is very, very hard to know who to pick, really. You can pick any 4 players here. I've gone for Viliami. He's just got experience, and I think his defence is going to be better than the other options. I think you can obviously pick Viale or Adam Pompey. Obviously, the one of them probably will be picked as a centre, but to me, I just don't like the defence, and I think the Warriors really, if they want to go up the ladder, need to improve their defence. And the Warriors' defence has always been bad out wide, and it's been bad wide just about the whole time. The Warriors, they just don't seem to find defensive centres, and I think Niokore is that player that can finally give them one centre. There's probably something the Warriors need to look at, signing another centre. Now the halves, well, this is the contentious one, but I think they need to do what the Sharks did. Shaun Johnson back to 6. He's not a game manager. He just needs to play his razzle-dazzle. Just let him do his thing. And let Te Maire Martin deliver at halfback. I think he's ready to play halfback. And I think he just needs to. He just has to. For the Warriors' sake, if they want to be a chance at the top 8, they need a solid, consistent performer week in, week out. He's not up to Cooper Cronk's level, but in the next tier down, like the old Black Greens, those sort of players they used to play. That's what the Warriors need out of the squad they've got. And that leaves some of the other younger players to improve themselves and get themselves into the 17 and they work their way into the top. Because that is my contentions for the Warriors. That halves pairing to me, it could be dynamic, but I just don't think it's strong enough to win a comp. Look, the forward pack is no problem there. The front row is Tohu Harrison, and Fonda-Blake, clearly going to be the 2. But my other question is Wade Egan. Is he the answer? A lot of people say yes, he's good, but I don't see enough out of attack. He needs to be a bit more out of attack for me. Defensively, he's quite solid, but just attack is not enough for me for the razzle-dazzle the Warriors need. Looking at the second row options, they got heaps of options here where to go. I actually like Bailey Siren. I really do. I think he's underrated. Very consistent player, and I think he's one of those players that the Warriors should be just picking every week, just consistently, just let him play his game, let him get through the minutes, because I think he's one of those players that gets forgotten about in the squad. I think he should be there. With Josh Curran, obviously got a bit of issues with what's happening overseas with him, so hopefully that gets cleared up, but who knows with that. My 13 now, I mean, you know where the competition's going, the Victor Radleys, Isaiah Yo's. Have we got a player like that? People might say Mitchell Barnett is the best option there. But I actually think Dylan Walker should, because I think what Dylan Walker brings is that he has that ability to pass 5'8". He can be another ball player and change outside of Johnson and Te Maire Martin. And I think that's where Dylan Walker might end up playing later in the season. I know they're saying he's going to play 14, but I think they've got enough young squad players like the Volkmans and the Luke Metcalfs that can play their 14 role and come on and be dummy half or play in the halves if need be. I think that's Dylan Walker could be an interesting choice. Clearly he's going to start the season at 14, but to me, if it was my squad, I'd have him at 13. But to be fair, I don't know, you could have put Mitch Barnett there as well, and even Tohu Harris. But that's the way I'm going. On the bench, well, Luke Metcalf, I nearly had him in my top 7, to be honest. But I just think it's just a bit too hard for him to go to 7 and have Shaun Johnson at 6 or vice versa. To me, it just won't work. Luke Metcalf could be a very good player, but he needs someone strong like Timothy Martin, so he just dropped Shaun Johnson altogether. Now, there's even a flip side to this. You put Shaun Johnson at fullback. Well, I don't know if you have the fitness, but that's another debate. Other bench players, well, to me, it's just all forwards for me. Bunty or Fire, just let him just run up the backyard when the others need a break. Same with Jackson Ford, to do the same thing. And Mitch Barnett, for me, just off the bench, I think he brings that little bit of X factor and brings a bit of fire in the belly to come off the bench, which the Warriors lack. Bunty or Fire has the ability, but he doesn't seem to show it enough every week. If he could improve his game, Bunty or Fire would be a big chance. So that's the squad. Now, what do I think of the chances of the Warriors making the top 8? Well, they have a squad that can make the top 8. But do they have the coach, Andrew Webster, that can get them there? Like, I don't think they've got a squad that can win the comp. Just put that out of your minds, Warriors fans. We won't be winning the comp this year. Hopefully I eat my words, but I just can't see it with the squad. We're missing an absolute superstar. We just do not have a superstar in the team. And most sides have 2 or 3. And we got 0. Honestly, we've got 0. Our best player in the team is probably, and consistently, is Tohu Harris or Fonda-Blake. They'll be our 2 most. But obviously, if the Warriors want to win the comp, there's only one man you got to talk about, and that's Shaun Johnson. But unfortunately, we have not seen the best for Shaun Johnson in many years. He had one very good season in Cronulla, and then he got injured just before the finals. He was flying that year. If he could get to that sort of form, or back to his early form in 2010, 2011, when he first came on the scene, then was talking about something. He's got all the ability in the world, Shaun Johnson. He's up there with Andrew Johns for talent. But unfortunately, he hasn't delivered on the field enough for him to be known as a great player. He's going to be one of those players that you're going to think he didn't really fully reach his potential. And you could argue it was the coaching at the Warriors as well. They never really had the greatest of coaches for him. So that's another side note for Shaun Johnson. But he has a chance to really make a statement, to say to himself, yes, I am up with Stacey Jones in the Warriors scheme of things, that I am up with him in terms of talent. And this is his year. If he really wants to prove himself, this is his year. The squad's good enough to make a dab for the finals, but whether it can go all the way, you're going to need some young gun like a Luke Metcalf or someone to just come out of the firing blocks. But that is my analysis of the Warriors 2023 squad. You can like and comment down there. Remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I have plenty more videos for you coming up. Take care out there.